I have people say, how did you get started on social media? I actually tell people, one of the first things, the very first thing that I ever did with social media, other than like making fun of TV shows, was, you remember when Trump would start to have his rallies and they wouldn't show the crowds?
Of course, never. And he would talk.
He would talk about that, and he still does the bit, even though we all know the crowd. But he does the bit anyway. Yeah. But it's true that at the beginning of it, they would do this tight shot, and they would just show him and the podium, and you wouldn't see these thousands and thousands. Yeah. And remember, Obama had done these huge crowds. That was real. And no one has ever said that wasn't real. It was real. But Trump's was real too, and they wouldn't show it. And then Hillary, they would show that there were crowds, but then they would cut it in such a way to make it look like there was a big crowd. There was a crowd. So what I would do is I would go to Trump rallies, and then I would go to Hillary rallies, and I would put the pictures side by side, especially if it was, Trump today, Hillary today, Trump today, Hillary today.
I remember that.
And I would make sure to find, a crowd shot, a real crowd shot where you could see it. And nobody was doing this before. And that's the very first thing that started to really get me traction on social media when I would do this. And I've just kind of done it from then. And then we went to the RNC, and there was no violence at all. They said the RNC was going to be violent.
Weird.
And then there was no violence. I went to the DNC, and it was so much violence. There were people that were, the Antifa was there burning flags. The Bernie people were freaking out because they just got completely, had their election stolen from them.
Yeah.
In 2016. And, they had Debbie Wasserman Schultz she had to step down as the chairwoman of the DNC on the first day in Philadelphia. I'm from Philadelphia area. And nobody was covering any of the violence outside of the DNC. So we just showed it. And we had the power of X and Periscope back then, the live streaming that we did. And people were saying, wait a minute, CNN isn't showing any of this. They're showing Hillary. She's dressed all in white. She's being, the coronation of Hillary Clinton. So and now, and this is what I'm asking you about, as we get to this, now, not only did they lie, and that gave us that opportunity of an opening to be out there and say, here's what's really going on. They lied to us about the status of the president of the United States. And they're admitting now, but they're trying to say it's a cover up. Do you think it was really a cover up with Jake Tapper? And they lied to us. They lied to us.
Absolutely. I don't care what, especially with Jake Tapper, just with all of them on the left. Every single day we would see something happening, either him falling or stumbling and messing up and doing all that. Jake, it's unbelievable that they think that we're going to believe their nonsense. We had no idea. Then this book is coming out, and now, I feel so sorry for him. He has, stage 5, terminal cancer. I mean, it's the gall of the left. But then I always tell people, Jack, you have to understand, before we even get into it, people need to understand what we're up against. When we talk about the left, the party of the violence and all these people, I truly believe this, because once you accept this one truth, I think everything else starts to make sense. You have your cross in your shirt, and I have my cross around my neck. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Once you realize, Jack, that's what we are up against.
Every day.
These people, that group, call it the deep state, call it whatever. Then everything else, Jack, is possible. And if you don't mind, Jack, I'll give you a quick deep state timeline. All right. So pre-2024, Biden has cancer. He's been going through it. Everybody knows. Everybody's keeping it.
And all the doctors are saying there's no way. There's no way.
There's absolutely no. A guy just went on MSNBC and said 4 years. Okay, they said he was fit to lead, and then there's a video a couple years ago. He's in Virginia. He actually says, I have cancer. He said it, but because, like you said, the boy who cried wolf, we were like, oh, God, he's talking like he has cancer. So check this out, Jack. June 27, 2024, Biden-Trump debate. Biden freezes. Horrible, okay? I believe that's when Operation Get Trump the Hell Out happens. July 13th, Trump gets shot in the ear in Butler, Pennsylvania. He survives. That's the new operation is switched to Kamala, okay? And then July 21st, Biden drops out of the race. And the rest is history. Because think about this. Think about this, Jack. He gets shot and killed. Who wins the presidency?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden wins the presidency. Cut to right now, 4 months in, he announces that he has cancer.
Right.
Section 3 and 4 of the Amendment 25. And she's the president. And
the first female president.
Black, whatever.
All of it.
And that right there, Jack, when you really piece it together, he was not supposed to survive. Bro, I got goosebumps. He wasn't supposed to live in Butler. He was supposed to die. And what was the one person that got fired? Who got held accountable? Kim Cheadle steps down. The rest is, I messed up. Get rid of her. That's what I believe. I think evil, and that party is evil, Jack. They tried to take him out. They failed. Even Ryan Ralph was the cleanup. He failed because he's a loser, probably working for Ukraine. And look at where we'd be right now if he was shot and killed. Kamala would be announced the president this week. They say Amendment 25. This guy's going to die in a year
because they knew that she couldn't win a national election, but they knew that the image of Joe Biden and that they had prepared so much could potentially have won. Now, after that debate, though, they knew there was some trouble.
Big time
because
trouble.
After the debate, that's when suddenly they said, "Wait a minute." He was, well, they didn't turn the muscle relaxers on enough.
Exactly.
The beta blockers weren't hitting right.
He was sick.
Something was. That's when he tweeted he was sick.
Yeah.
That's why his account tweeted. He didn't tweet that.
Exactly.
And this is what I got. We're gonna quick break here, but what I want to get into in the next part of this is talk about the fact that look, there's legal questions about this, and we have to have an actual examination. Ed Martin, who's the pardon attorney, has looked into it, says he's going to be looking into this as well. Only a president can sign a pardon. And I'm not just talking about the auto pen situation. I mean, he has to consent to the pardon process. And that's actually been tested in courts, that only a president can nominate a Supreme Court justice or any federal judge, by the way, right? So only someone who is mentally capable and fully mentally capacity has the ability to host that. If we do have any of that, then guess what? Our rule of law doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Because who did we actually elect?